Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, most South Africans will know what the video attached is all about, but a lot of my subscribers who live in other parts of the world have no idea of the brutality of things happening in the black townships. I mean, they're incredibly brutal. I heard that in Port Elizabeth earlier today, 2 men accused of being thieves were beaten and then necklaced. And I don't have to tell you what necklacing is. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. But what you're going to see now is the Sangomas, the witch doctors, the traditional healers, and the lengths they will go to provide magic cures or wealth for people who come and approach them. And the thing that's really concerning about this is that most of the police, in fact I'd say 99% of the police, or the South African Police Service officers, are black. And they still have this very strong belief in the power of the Sangoma, or witch doctor. And when a Sangoma does murder a child because of the strength of the muti, or the medicine, the police are not prepared to go and investigate. So they get like a free pass. This is the reality in South Africa today. This is what is happening and going on in South Africa. All right, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, ring the bell for the updates, and have a great evening.
Deep in South African Zulu land, traditional healers dance and sing to an ancient rhythm. They call themselves Sangomas and Inyangas, and their mission is to heal the sick using the methods of their forefathers, which are now being used to treat everything from HIV to afflictions of the mind. Here it's mainly herbs and other plant materials that are used to cure, along with a few animal bones. But some afflictions demand stronger remedies. A sacrifice must be made to appease the ancestors who possess this woman's body and mind. It's a confronting scene, but there's an even darker side to African traditional medicine than this. Some slaughter not animals, but people, to make the most powerful muti of all.
Those people who are using human fleshes, we usually call them abatagas. Those are witches or witch doctors. If you can use the human flesh, those people there, the owner of that dead somebody, those people are crying.
Up to 300 people a year are killed in South Africa so that their body parts can be used in traditional medicine. Most of them are children. The human ingredients are said to increase the power of the muti because they're taken from a live victim, the life essence. Salome Chokwe didn't hear her son's screams. And when she found him here, it was too late. 10-year-old Sello was out herding donkeys when he disappeared. And when he was discovered here, he was still alive, but his tiny body had been butchered. His His hand, genitals, tongue and part of his brain were gone. He was missing his hand?
Yes. Okay. You could see the brain, but it shows as if someone has just taken a bit of the brain.
What happened to Sello Chokwe bears all the hallmarks of a classic Muti attack. He was left alive while his body parts were harvested and probably used to bring luck to a business. But Sello died of his injuries almost a year ago, and his attackers have yet to be brought to justice. Sello's case has frustrated police. They arrested a local traditional healer and a businessman, but they couldn't get a conviction for Sello's death. So his killers walk free. Occult crime expert Kobus Jonker says that's typical of Muti murders, which are notoriously difficult to solve.
So this is the fetus.
He was the first in South Africa to publicly acknowledge the practice, and he set up a special police unit to deal with it.
Those in Youngers who does that, they've got no compassion. It's all about money. They bloodthirsty, money-mad, crazed guys, I would say.
Understanding the nature of these bizarre crimes is difficult. They seek particular body parts for very specific purposes, and the aim is not to kill, but to harvest. Hands are often buried palm up in the front yard of a business to bring in money, for example, or human muti may be mixed with herbs to smear on products for sale. The power of the muti is said to increase according to the level of pain inflicted on the victim.
Here we have a child's body. This one now a 6-year-old girl there from Port Elizabeth, down in the Eastern Cape. Now, the Sangoma believed by taking the private parts out and removing the skin there and this section of the face. And we found this in jam bottles inside of the guy's kitchen. It's been done while she's still alive, because the more she screams, the more powerful the muti is going to be.
Such killings inspire superstition, even among black police who struggle with fear of retribution from powerful traditional healers.
There's not enough police officers that can do this job, because many police officers fear these people. And many police officers will tell you straight, I don't want to get involved with investigations where Sangomas are involved.
In vast South Africa, tiny villages nestle in remote corners of the landscape, virtually cut off from the outside world. There are plenty of places for unscrupulous witch doctors to hide from the law. But acting on a tip-off, we drive deep into KwaZulu-Natal to see an Inyanga suspected of selling human remains. Cameraman Sipho Maseko arranges a consultation with the healer, who's accused of an act that's reviled by many in Zulu culture.
But then you get crooks like this, which I call witchcraft. Yeah. They are really witchcraft. In Zulu called umthakathi. Exactly. That's the group there. Those are killers. Witchcraft, they do all these dirty things.
He carries a hidden camera to capture the exchange. In this footage, he asks the healer for some muti to improve his business. He's purified with smoke and water mixed with herbs. The Inyanga then hands over what he says is a human bone. But the healer isn't keen to answer questions about his muti. Our cameraman is also given a ball of what the healer says is human fat. He asks for money and our cameraman leaves, returning with 3,000 rand, or about 600 Australian dollars. He's warned to keep the mutti hidden. We don't know if the items we've just been sold are truly human. It's unusual for a healer to keep human body parts on hand because of the obvious risk of getting caught. However, back in Johannesburg, we take them to the experts at Wits University just to make sure. They've agreed to examine what we bought and to give us a verdict later. This is the country's largest mutti market, and it's full of strange and wonderful ingredients for all to see.
What do you use this for?
I use this for intelezi.
For interlacing?
Yes,
What's
when
that?
I'm crushing interlazes. These are KwaZulu Natal.
Maud Lamini is the senior Inyanga here.
It's good for steaming bath.
She explains that customers come for the animal and herbal cures offered by stallholders from all over Africa.
Interlazy like this.
So you put that in the steam bath?
You put it in the steam bath, or if you got a spook in your house.
Does it work to get rid of the spooks?
Yes, it does work. Even the fat of the horse does work for the spook.
And even here, some are openly looking for more than what's on the shelf.
Now they do come and ask me about a bone of a person or a piece of the fat for a person. I said, no, I don't use the things they like that. I use the roots of the medicines. A fat of that, a person or a white person or Indian or pig, I don't use.
Back at Wits University, the experts in the anatomy department are closely analysing our purchase.
And there's no facet for the fibula, which is normally small. There.
They've decided it's animal rather than human.
Definitely not human.
But they're concerned that the transaction indicates that there's still a strong market and demand for human body parts, and they're not the only ones.
You see, these people are not fools. If it's a new man coming to him to get medicine, he's going to try to bluff him and say this is human parts and it's mixed with some sort of herbs, magical herbs, whatever. But that's just to test him. And if he comes back in 2-3 months' time, they're going to charge a much bigger amount now, a few thousand rand, much more. And then he might give him the same stuff again. And then, of course, the third time, fourth time, then he say, no, I can trust this guy. He's not going to bring the police here. I can trust him. Then, of course, this magic medicines made out of human tissue will be given to him. That's how they test most of these people in the beginning.
So we decide to return to the deep reaches of KwaZulu-Natal to confront the vendor.
Mr. Zondi. So we're from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. We're here to ask you if you're selling human mutti. Are you selling human mutti, sir?
The Inyanga is not pleased to see us.
Why did you sell our cameraman remains that you said were human?
He refuses to answer our questions.
I don't know where it's going.
But through an intermediary, he denies selling human parts.
Is he selling human mutti?
I'm not quite sure, but it does give you things that look strange.
Like what?
Sometimes bones, things that are very scary. He says he doesn't want to talk, he doesn't sell any human meat. Okay, ask that one question. That one question, it's enough.
One question.
That one question.
Did you try to sell our cameraman human mutti?
He says it does not
We leave without really getting an answer.
Okay.
But that's not the only one we were looking for. Salome Chokwe is still looking for the truth. She's determined that someone will be caught. Because although her child has been buried, his body is not whole, and nor is his spirit.
The child spirit is roaming around. If you cut somebody's days, her or his spirit doesn't go straight to where it must go. It's those people, they died cruel death. It was not yet time for them to die.
Young Sello's life is one of many cut short. But in the modern South Africa, tradition is alive and well, and for that, some people die.